Personally speaking, I love creating these videos, whether it's for YouTube, another platform, for someone else, or just for my own self. I love the whole process, from planning to filming to editing and then posting it. But something I like the most in this whole process is MotionVFX. I just really like them and I love creating them. You might have seen lots of motion templates recently on the channel, like MotionVFX, subscribe button coming from the bottom, or putting a social media plug, or maybe text, pointers, banners, and I love this kind of stuff. And I just feel they give the videos just a bit more of that personal touch. When you look at the overall composition, they take that to the next step. And if you're building a brand or just working on that, it creates your own style. You can have a unique style that this video, or this is really, it's just really pleasing to the eye. So if you haven't been on this road of creating motion VFX or using motion VFX, you know it's really time consuming. It can be frustrating. And sometimes also if you're buying motion effects, you might buy something and then it doesn't turn out good. So it's a lot more frustration. So what I've been doing recently, just to save time, because these videos take a huge amount of time. You might not realize how long it takes to actually make one of these videos. About a year ago, I bought this plugin called mTuber 2 from MotionVFX and I'm just loving it. I've used it in almost every single video I edit, whether it's for professional use or just YouTube or my own self. It's just super easy. It can save so much time. So I thought I will show you guys how I use it in almost every single one of my videos in Final Cut Pro 10. And also, side note, so this video is not sponsored, but they did reach out as I'm a member of the affiliate member, and basically they have a promotion going on. So if you do end up purchasing any of the plugins from their website, you can use code SUMMER25 and save additional 25% off till end of August. And now, without wasting any time, let's just jump straight in. So what I've done is I've taken one of my recent videos and I've removed all of the motion plugins from it. Almost all of them. I left some of them, but we'll work on that. And we're going to work on this video together, add motion plugins together, and I will show you what I like to add, how I like to really make the composition so it's like not too many plugins but just enough amount so it's not too distracting. And let's just do it together. So first thing is, after you get your plugins installed in Final Cut Pro 10, you can access them by going into the text tab or adjustment layers, all this stuff. Now in this titles and generators, what you can do, if this is not expand titles, and you're going to find a plugin called mTuber 2. Now, if you bought another plugin, you will basically have this name there, so you just have to look for the name. Now here, as you can see, I have all these plugins that are all these effects that comes in this pack of mTuber 2. So we got our backgrounds, end screens, icons, logo animation. So this is my favorite. So the drop, I almost use it in almost all of the videos. We got some pointers. So my favorite pointer is going to be zoom and magnifying glass. I really love them. Social media icons, if you want to put a social media plug at the bottom left corner, we'll talk about that. Subscribe buttons and some titles. So now let's go over this video, and as you can see, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be, I'm just talking normally. So usually what I like to do is add some sort of subscribe or engaging the audience in the front, like just before we start the video. So I'm going to go up and go and subscribe, and I'm going to find plugin called sidebar. So I'm going to just go drag and drop. Now if you play this video, as you can see, it's already perfect. There's nothing I would really, if I really don't want to change anything, it's like perfect. But of course we can make changes if we want to. So as long as the sidebar is selected, we're going to the top right corner, go in the editing tab for basically this T, and in here I can basically change it from a lower third to a title, but let's leave it to lower third. I can change its position or just drag and drop if I really want to do that. So something I really like about this pack is that all of these plugins have dual mode. So one, they have light mode and a dark mode. So I will show you. So in this one, as you can, this is light background, nothing too fancy. So if we go just up here, just highlight that, I can go change it from normal mode to dark mode, and it's like if your video is dark theme, it will look so much better. For me, I'm going to leave it to white because for this kind of stuff, if it's not like a cinematic thing, or if I'm not in like a dark environment, I like to keep it white, just looks a lot better. Now instead of subscribe, you can change it. So I do want to leave it subscribe, but just for this video, I'm just going to put a code that's, how's that? That's the code you can use to save 25% off. And if I play the video, hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be taking a look. Totally perfect. And then it also goes away just in time. Now what I want to do next is I want to add some sort of intro. Now of course I already have my intro, you guys see it. So what I usually do is just copy and paste it from my older projects, so I don't really have to recreate them. It's super easy to recreate them. So let's go to our intros. So as I said, I love the drop one, so I'm going to take that and basically drop it here. Let's extend it a bit. I already made the marker so it's easier, and that's my intro. Now what I'm going to do is right in the middle, we're going to enter the logo. I'm going to go find a logo that I want to use, and let's use this one. So go in the properties of the drop generator, and we're going to find the logo, apply, and that's perfect. Now let's just change some of the wording. So let's just say, what do you want to name this? Here, let's just say tips and tricks, or actually let's save 25%, and let's just put the code up here, summer 25. Now usually I would have okay, so usually I would have like tips and trick tutorial 1, episode 1, 2, 3 in this kind of style, because these are usually used for my tips and tricks. And now if I go play with audio, so I'm going to disable my own audio. Actually, I will leave that on. Here, let's go play. Pro 10. So let's just dive right in. And that's perfect. So something else I like to do in this, usually in the backdrops, is because you can basically mess around with any settings, is the particles at the back. So I sometimes like to increase the opacity of them to make them a bit more brighter, make the cell count increase, and just basically keyframe it so it's like when you play the video it grows or it adds more layers, so it just looks much more cooler. Now let's move on, and this is just normal, the video goes on. And first thing I noticed, so in this video, usually in tutorials, what I have is my Final Cut Pro 10 screen. So in this case, same as you are seeing this right now, you see my Final Cut screen, you see me on the top left corner, but I don't like to fill up the screen with the actual content because depending on devices, it sometimes can be super annoying. So I don't like to leave a black background. So if you see, look at this video right now, if this goes black, it doesn't really, sure it might help in focus, but it doesn't really look good. So usually I would go in Photoshop, make my backgrounds, bring them back in, and they will be all right, but they're not that great. They're not like cool looking, let's say. They don't look that great, and it does take time before to animate it all. So the plugin I use is, let's go back in titles and go all the way up. So they give you 5 backgrounds if you go with the mTuber 2. The one I love the most is the squid. It's really clean, it's not too much clutter, because the abstract one is really cool, but I feel it's just a little bit too much stuff on the screen. But I really like the square one, so we're going to drag that below all my layers when I know my basically my screenshot is on. We're going to drag it all the way at the end, and now let's just change some settings. I'm going to turn the frame off, and I think that just looks great. So now if I play this video, so what I want to do, okay, so I don't want the in animation in, so now when I go up here, so what I want to do is, so if you look at it, it's still moving back now. It's not moving too fast, so it's not distracting, and it just brings that dynamic perspective to the video and looks a lot better with this. Now let's move forward, and let's just say I want to add a zoom right up here into my layers. Now one of the problems I have is to do this zoom in, because I have 3 layers. If I really want the way my zoom looks now, is that I actually have to add keyframes and adjust my layers, and basically it does take time. It's not too much time, but if you're on a rush or something, or you're repeating all this stuff, it just takes time. So they have a plugin called Zoom, which again is one of my favorite, and we just bring down zoom right up here. Let's just do a few settings. I like to sharpen it, and let's just move it right about, where would I like to show that? I think I just wanted to zoom up. Okay, let's just zoom in almost. Actually, yeah, we'll just zoom it up here. How's that? So if we are zooming it on the bottom now, let's do that. We're zooming at the bottom. That's fine. And now if I go and play, something I really like it is what it does. It creates a smooth zoom in and a zoom out. So it's not like it's like too fast, too zoomed out. It's just like smooth in, smooth out, which you can of course do, but it just takes a bit more time on you if you don't have this plugin or just any of those plugins. And sharpening is one of my favorite, because when it zooms, you might see according to, if I'm not shooting in 4K, if you're shooting in 720p, 1080p, when you're zooming in, you don't really have that much control over the zoom. Sure, you can do enough zoom so it doesn't look bad, but you might have to add sharpening. So in this way, I just let it do the zoom sharpening, and it just looks a lot better. And take it out, and that's the smoothest zoom I can ask for. Now next up, this is something I've already added, the magnifying glass with a cursor and then a text and another frame. Now something I want to talk about with the square or the frame is that these are the pointers, and I really find them really unique, because let's be honest, when I was making these videos a lot earlier, when I did not have this plugin, what I would do is just have the shape arrow. I won't do that right away. So let's go and generate it. So we're going to bring shape here, and we're going to drop that down. And let's go back to mTuber 2 now. mTuber 2 is that right up here. So in this, what I would usually do is just change that to arrow right up here, and like it looks fine, it works for the video, but it's not the greatest. And let's just say we're not doing arrow, I want to replicate what I have right now. It works, but then again, if you compare the bottom frame, the one with mTuber 2, it just looks so much better. And these are small things that you might not realize this because you're used to seeing this, but when you have two videos side by side and you're comparing one without VFX, one with nice VFX, you would obviously go for the nice VFX, as that's just more pleasing to the eye. So that's really what I like to do when I'm pointing stuff out. So that's mainly most of the stuff. And now, because I'm near the end of the video, something I like to add is the actual call to action subscribe button. So let's move at the end. Something I like to add, if I go back down to scroll, is player, because usually depending on what type of video it is, they have multiple ones. I really like the player mainly because it really does cover. It's a really cool one. So as you can see, the video zooms out, it shows the mouse goes to the like, subscribe, and the bell. It's really clean, and it's really good. Just look at it. It's really good. Now moving on, there are a couple more that I do sometimes use, something such as a channel button. So if I really want to say go subscribe here, I will put that right in the middle of the video. So let's just say I'm playing from here, and it just comes up right in the middle with my logo and subscribe. Now you can add sound effects like mouse clicks and stuff if you want to do that. You can add notifications on top, so hit the bell on the side, and all these things just bring different elements to the video, and you can make them different. So instead of having same video, same style, same VFX in every single video, you can use different options, which will just make it more nicer and less boring. Let's just say that. Now let's talk again at the end. So we got a subscribe button, notification, got the player icon. Let's just say while I'm in the middle of the video, I want to plug in another video, which I usually actually do when I'm saying this is a tutorial, I made another one if you want to watch that. What I would do is plug it in the video. Now before these plugins, what I would do is just put a picture of it, or say it's in the description. Now what I can do is basically go to end screens, and I can grab the next episode's end screen. Now you can use it at the end. It doesn't really matter if it's an end screen, you can use it basically anywhere. And let's just say when I'm playing this, it's a really cool one. I really love this, especially for playlists. So my tech tip playlist, if I want to put this right there in the start of the video, it's not too bad. It's not like, oh my god, why is so much things coming up? This is like really simple, just showing that here's another playlist you can watch. Let's move that on the basically right up here. Let's add my thumbnail for one of my previous videos, and let's see how it looks. So let's change the picture right up here and apply. I will probably do a little bit of zooming, changing the Y makes it a bit more up. Right up here, that comes in. And how about we change the name to, what is it, watch your next super? How does it work? Let's leave it like that. And now if I play this video, it comes in super nice. I can be talking about the video, I can be pointing towards it, and then it just goes away. And now that just looks really clean. So now let's move over to end screen, something I use in almost every single video. I mean, it's not even almost, I use it. So as you can see, so in this case, those end screen I use is basically have my logo, put a subscribe, and put a basically blank white box. Now this is a solid version I'm using. Now you can have a backdrop, so instead of having a white, you can have an actual thumbnail image. And the only reason I use it because I let YouTube decide what to say. So I let, instead of me picking a video, I just let YouTube. So if you see this at the end of this video, that's not a video I'm suggesting, it's just YouTube suggests, depending on your watch history, that this is video you should watch. So what I like to do is leave it like that, but something we can of course do is add a thumbnail. So now as we're talking about my other video, let's add another thumbnail. So instead of saying solid, in the properties of that, subscribe and go and say it's a drop zone. Now this already has a picture. If it doesn't, I can just go up here and change the picture, and that looks amazing. Now let's go back, and I can of course change the background. What I did was, because I didn't really like it to be black, what I did was add another picture, put handheld and some motion blur, and do some keyframing, which does take time, and this overall looks amazing. And of course, on top of this, I can have different overlays, but at the end of the day, it just looks really good. Saves you a lot of time, especially when you can just copy and paste. And maybe now you want to add a different kind of end screen. Let's just say you want to promote 2 videos. So something I do like, or I do use, is going to be in end screens. I really like this one, the social media one. So this is when you want to, let's say, promote social media instead of going to your channel, or this visit channel one, because then I can have 2 videos, and then in the middle I have my logo, and then at the bottom just some random text. Now while I'm talking about this, I totally forgot to talk about social media handles. So let's go back and let's go in this next episode that we were working on, right? So we can go find the social media icons, and the one I like to use out of all these is the lower third and the sidebar. So I'm going to take the sidebar, I'm going to just drag and drop. Now if you press play, it comes from the side and it looks amazing. Now you can of course have it on the left side or the right side, you can change the properties, but something biggest for me is when I'm doing any kind of social media plug is mTuber 2. This specific plugin from MotionVFX contains almost all the social media icons, so we can change it from Facebook to YouTube to Vimeo to Twitter to Snapchat to Patreon to IG. Let's put a custom logo. I never really put a custom logo. This is the first time I'm going to do it. Let's see how it looks. It looks good. I'm not gonna lie, this does not look bad at all. So as you can see, these small things, they just save you time, and they also look great because it's not too distracting. It just comes from the side, goes away. Now again, at the same time, I can change it from left to right, so it just changes the whole orientation, which is amazing. And same thing like that, you can change all the text, colors, font, and stuff. Now another one that I like to use as a social media plug is in text. Let's go, I like this lower third, and let's take that down, and if I play this, comes from the bottom. It's super clean. Now I like to use it a lot when it comes to Twitter, because why not? Like, it just looks good. But of course you can change it to Vimeo if you want to. Let's change it to Instagram, and if you ask me, it will look really good. And that's really it. Now of course I don't have these many plugins in my videos. I will usually have a subscribe in the starting and the ending if it's a normal length video. If it's too long of a video, I might put it in the middle. Same thing goes with other effects, but something I do really use is the pointers. They're really amazing to point something out, get your attention in the video. And end screens are like a must now. End screens, if it's a YouTube video or if a video requires an end screen, it's from here. I really just stopped making my own, so that just saves a lot of time. And of course this video is not sponsored. It might seem it's actually not sponsored. They did reach out for the code, so I thought instead of me only saving it, you guys can also save if you are going to grab some packs, or just one, or mTuber 2, whichever one you like. Again, all the links will be in the description below. What I will do is, first link will be of their website, go check them out, followed by a few links that are my favorite plugins from MotionVFX. Again, you can use code summer25 to save 25% off till end of August. And in case you're coming to this video later on, what I will do is I will keep on updating that code, so that if I do get a new code, I can update that, and that way at least you're not missing out. So hope you found this video helpful. If you did, maybe hit the like, subscribe, hit the bell, that way you get notified. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them below, and I will see you guys later.